Today, I want to provide an update, mainly for myself, but for anyone else who kind of cares, on the progress that I've made against the challenges, there's 4 of them, that I set out to achieve across 2023. It's now been about 4 to 5 months since I started this journey, and I think it's a good point in time to reflect upon how I'm doing against them. To remind you, the viewer, what those 4 challenges were, the first one was to be able to juggle 4 balls, basically at the same time. So learn how to juggle 4 things at once. Number 2 was to learn VBA coding or Excel coding, which is also another way to put it. Number 3 was to run a sub 3-minute kilometer. Definitely a hard one. We'll talk more about that towards the end of this video because that's an interesting one. And finally, to commit 1 hour of my time each week, every week, across the entire year to pick up rubbish. So, about my juggling progress. Well, it's been 4 months. And as far as I've gotten so far is I've been able to save a couple of handy YouTube tutorial videos to my watch later list on YouTube. The past 4 months have been pretty crazy for me. So my justification is that I'm putting this one on the back burner. It's something that I'm still going to do this year, but it's not something that's going to take me all that long to do. I think I have confidence in my ability to learn to do it very quickly. So it's something that will come later in the year. All right, number 2 being VBA coding. I actually managed to complete my first assignment back in January of this year. However, since then I've essentially dropped the challenge altogether. At the moment, I really do consider it being too difficult to learn without having an actual use case or need behind it. Plus, since I don't specifically need this skill set for my job, it's something that has kind of been a turn off for me because I can focus on other things that are definitely going to help me in my career versus this one particular skill, which may or may not, but it's not really required for my day-to-day work. I definitely do think it's something that I will revisit in the future. However, at the moment, I think my spare time is much better utilized, focusing on the other 3 challenges and working towards achieving them in the best way possible. Okay, with those 2 out of the way, let's talk about some actual results now. Training to run 1 kilometer in under 3 minutes has by far been the most physically demanding challenge. At the very beginning of the challenge, I completed my first time trial where I ran 1 kilometer as fast as I could. I went balls to the walls, and the time that I clocked in at was 3 minutes and 48 seconds, which was definitely far better than what I had initially expected. However, I definitely had a long way to go to get to that 3-minute mark. So since then, I have been consistently running, definitely to get my kilometers up. I'm currently averaging 3 runs per week, and I'm throwing in 1 tempo session each week to really push myself to my limit. As a quick side note as well, my fitness levels have improved immensely. It's been a great eye-opener for myself because I honestly did not think I'd be able to run as far or for as long as I currently am, only 4 months into the challenge. And I know it's about being quick, but there's a lot of fitness that needs to be built up to be able to run a 3-minute kilometer. So it's something that I just want to reflect on at this point in the challenge. I'm very happy with where my fitness levels are at, and I'm very excited to see where they're going to be at the end of this year. And it's a win-win for me because I work a 9 to 5. I sit behind a desk for most of the day. I don't move a lot every single day. And this has been a great way to implement some of that movement back into my routine. Now I'm just going to pivot ever so slightly, but still focusing on this running goal. I personally have completely embraced the emotional cycles of change in my daily routine. And for those who are unaware of what that is, I've made a video on the topic and I've linked it down in the description below. You can find it there. I highly encourage you to watch it, especially if you are someone who struggles at completing goals you set out to achieve. In relation to the progress that I've made over the past 4 months and where I'm sitting currently in the emotional cycles of change, there are 5 stages, and I am currently experiencing stage 3, being the Valley of Despair, also known as the I can't do this, it is too hard, I want to give up. My legs ache, I often feel exhausted, and I am pushing myself to my limit when I am running, especially in those tempo sessions, to work towards achieving this goal. At the moment, I'm covering an average of 30 kilometers per week, and my running times are all over the place because of my plan and the times that I'm being told to run at by my trainer. The person who is training me has told me that these are the first steps that need to be taken in order to build up that fitness level, and that's basically focusing on getting my kilometers up every single week, all the way to the point where I'm going to start pushing really hard and trying to achieve those runs in a much quicker time frame. Overall, where I'm at right now, being 4-ish months into the challenge, I'm very happy and pleased with the efforts I've put in, and I'm very excited to continue working towards the end goal, but the journey itself is very rewarding in its own ways. So that's probably all I'm going to cover for the running component of today's video for challenge number 3. If you are interested in seeing how I track against this, I probably will make some more updates in future videos as well. So definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now let's move on to challenge number 4, which definitely, in my opinion, sounds like the least appealing of the bunch, being my cleanup project. Committing my free time to give back to others is something that I definitely wouldn't want to do unless I could deliver on that commitment. And this is where the challenge that I've put in place, being my cleanup project for the year, allows me to do something good for the community at no expense to anyone but myself. And it's something that I am not getting anything out of other than giving my free time to do something that I would deem as a good deed for the week. And that is to commit 1 hour every single week to pick up rubbish at local parks, local beaches, and community areas, just for the sake of doing it every single week. Now being 15 sessions in and not having missed a single week so far, I can honestly say that this has been more fun than I could have possibly imagined. This really is a feel-good activity, as well as it acts like a bit of a detox as well from my regular routine and technology-orientated life. As a bit of an overview, I get to have a really nice chat with anyone who decides to tag along. I get to listen to music if I'm doing it by myself, which acts as a bit of a detox, like I said just before, where I can switch off and just enjoy my time in my own space. And finally, and it's kind of like a little bit of a sweetener as well, it technically counts as exercise. So it is a win on a win on a win. It's also been really interesting measuring specific statistics out of doing this challenge. It's starting to pile up as well. Across these sessions alone, I have managed to walk more than 30 kilometers in distance, and I've picked up almost 100 kilos of rubbish as well, which is not an insignificant number when you picture me holding a bucket and doing laps around an oval, a park, the beach, an area that isn't that big but has lots of foot traffic through it. And over the course of months and years, rubbish has piled up, and I'm even picking up the small stuff because I want it to be as neat and tidy as possible. It really is amazing how much of a difference a small amount of consistent effort makes. At the end of this challenge, being the end of the year, I'm planning to send an email to the local councils where I've picked up rubbish at parks that fall within those councils to showcase the amount of rubbish that has just been piling up over the years and how much I've been able to clean up over that period of time. At the moment, I'm kind of covering a map of the local parks and areas within the vicinity of where I live, and I'm enjoying doing it very much because it's kind of cool. It's like a puzzle where I get to go to each one every single week until I cover the entire map. Where this challenge has now evolved to me mapping out strategic locations within a certain council zone, so that when I do send that email away at the end of the year, it will really showcase and highlight how much rubbish had piled up in those locations. And that's pretty much it for the cleanup project. Now, I knew at the start of the year when I set these 4 challenges up that they would change and adapt over time, and now having really committed to some of them and getting them built right into my routine, I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop and how I itch closer towards achieving them throughout the year. They're all different in nature. The VBA one, yes, kind of disappeared and we're down to 3 challenges where I haven't even started one yet, but there's still plenty of time to go. I'm pretty motivated to see, like I said, how they go across the year and how I make progress towards achieving them. Overall, it really has been a great 4 months. I've accomplished a lot and I have learned a lot about myself as well when doing these activities. Even I did that first VBA coding activity and learned very quickly that it is not for me unless I need to learn how to do it. To wrap up, I can't wait to see what the next 8 months have in store, and I'm pretty sure for those who decide to come back and see what those updates look like, I think I'm going to have some pretty interesting things to show. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, if you liked the update that I provided, hit that like and subscribe button because I don't have anything else to really talk about right now. So I will leave you there. Have a good day, have a good week, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.